Yeah, empathy busters to avoid. Yeah, some of these things are interesting to learn because a lot of times we do this a lot with people, but we don't know that it takes away, so to speak. A lot of times we say it takes away. I don't know what that means, but I think it's meant to mean that people don't feel cared for when you say these things. You yourself may think you are actually um, caring and yeah, but when you say these things, actually it might end up having a different effect on the people you're talking to. Um, think about it. One of the feelings we do a lot of times is to say, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. And sometimes you don't know. You're trying to help the person because maybe you feel like you've been in the same situation before. Maybe someone is going through grief and you tell them, hey, I also lost my relative and I know how it feels. Um, the writer of this book, The Gift of Empathy, says that people told us over and over in our research that they strongly dislike this phrase. Okay. They felt like the other person is dismissing the uniqueness of their pain. So in reality, nobody can ever know exactly how someone else feels. So try and avoid this phrase. I know it's difficult because we are totally used to this. A lot of times, even as we discuss as disciples, a lot of times you actually want to say that. So it doesn't make people feel better. Just know that it doesn't make people feel better. Actually, makes people feel that you are actually dismissing what they feel, and they end up they might not tell you that, but they don't feel better by you saying that. Okay. The other one is people say, I think you have a lot to be thankful for. Ever had I say, hey, you have a lot to be thankful. Let me just put that there. Okay, I can still put this one here. Let me see. Yeah, you can see that. I think you can see the two things. Sometimes we feel like, hey, you have a lot to be thankful for. When someone shares what they feel, maybe someone feels, I feel like God has disappointed me. I feel lost. I feel like all my life as a disciple, I've not yielded much. I feel like I've lost my passion for life. Then you're there telling them, hey, bro, I think there's a lot to be thankful. Well, it may seem helpful encouraging someone to focus on what they have to be thankful for, communicate, and you feel like that communicates like they need to have a positive attitude. But in other words, it's almost like you're telling the person they shouldn't feel how they're feeling. Which sometimes, yeah, it's a nice situation, but the point is when you are actually trying to attune and help that person feel listened to, at that point is not the time to actually now bring in the other aspect of, hey, let's stop how you're feeling, let's focus on what you need to be thankful about. We need actually to just listen, you know. Listening helps rather than just telling the person, hey, I think you have a lot to be thankful to God for. Okay. Have you ever heard this phrase? Someone says, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Isn't it? Yeah, so what does that mean? That yeah, one person said to the person, yes, it can always be worse, but that sure doesn't make me feel better. Yeah, you have a situation, maybe someone has gone through an accident. I remember there's a time, yeah, you remember Beryl, Merinzia called us, she was in an accident. And a lot of times you can think, that was a while back. I think it last year or thereabout. I think it was last year, I think.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. Then there's a temptation of feeling it could have been worse.
Mm.
Because yeah, she didn't die in the accident. She was not badly hurt. We took her to the hospital and did the X-ray, and yeah, it turned out that she was fine. It was just really the panic and the nervousness. But the temptation to say it could have been worse can make her feel really bad. It can make her feel that, hey, guys, I've just had an accident. Don't tell me it can be worse. At least feel with me. Almost lost my life. What do you mean it could have been worse? Yeah. So try and avoid that. The other thing you want to avoid, we say that a lot. Say God doesn't give us, or not, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. I don't know if they've ever had that. We telling someone, hey, God doesn't give you more than we can handle. So, are you saying, what are you saying in that? You know, huh? When people are already struggling, being told that God gave them this difficult load and expect them to be able to bear it can cause a host of negative reactions. Think about it, Silas, you're sharing about maybe your financial problems. You're like, man, I don't know whether I'm able to finish that project. Or hey, then I tell you, God can. I don't think God doesn't give you more than you can handle. So, in brief, someone doesn't feel, I don't know. I think you get the point, guys. Someone doesn't feel okay. So, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Maybe someone has gone through a separation, or a friend has gone through a divorce. You're one of my best friends, and you're telling them, "Hey, God cannot give you what you can handle, what you can handle," or something like that. Are you saying that God gave me this separation or divorce or this? As in, what are you saying? You get?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a scripture to that where he says that God will give you a way out of the temptation, and there's no temptation that is beyond. And in other words, God will be there for you, but that is not how you apply the scripture in certain situations. So you have to apply the scriptures appropriately. What you should do sometimes, this depends. Sometimes someone can share, and at that time you shouldn't try to fix the person. Try and just listen and let them pour out their heart, because the focus is no more the person, not you. Sometimes you can be tempted to say, hey, I thought the other day I was at a funeral. We lost our cousin, and I was talking to the sister of the cousin, and I was asking her, how do you feel? She was telling me, man, I feel bitter. I feel, man, I could have done something. Maybe I could have done more. I would have been there for him. I don't think he would have died. Man, she was feeling so bad. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. you know. Yeah, she shared her feeling, but I didn't know what to say. I almost at some point I was like, no, I don't think it's your fault to feel that he died. But I don't know whether that I should have said that. Sometimes you don't know.
Mm.
Like, yeah, she's in pain. She's expressing how she feels. Should I make her feel better? Should I make her feel that, hey, it's not your fault that he passed on. You are there for your brother. Or should I just listen? Sometimes it just takes being aware, being aware of, sometimes people say things that they don't mean, especially when they're grieving. and sometimes you don't know what to say, and at other times it's just better just to be there.